I've been in human resources for over 30 odd years, and I've started off in the UK, and I had worked a lot in the developed world, but I've also done a lot of work out in the region. I first came to the Middle East in 1978 with British Aircraft Corporation. So I've worked in and out of the region. My last job was VP HR for ARC International, a French multinational. And I've still got a lot of experience. And what I did was I retired from that job and decided, I've really got a lot to give back. And having been in HR for so long, I decided to set up a company called It's All About People, and helping organization, HR departments, HR people, to really focus on what they're delivering to show that HR does really add value. I think a lot of it is around talent capability, realizing talent, particularly nationals. That was a topic in the region 30 years ago. It's still a topic, and an important topic. And I think there's a lot of work that's been done on that. I think some companies have made some major strides in that field. There's more nationals, larger percentage of nationals now working in organizations. They've still got some way to go, but I think that's a real success story. I see what's happening, but they've got to continue with that. They've got to continue, particularly with the new nationals coming on stream. The needs of people, younger people coming through. We talk about the Generation Y. We're also talking about the Generation Z, the Generation C, the connected people. So young people coming through have got a fair degree of different expectations than their fathers before them had. So that's going to be a continuing challenge to nationalisation. On some of the other areas, I think managing big data, that HR now has management information that holds a whole pile of data on people. How do they pull that together to start making decisions and helping them to make decisions to improve objectivity, but also help them to make business decisions about the people and how well they progressed, and particularly when you start looking about talent management. There's a lot of data there that can be used to make decisions to ensure that you've got the right talent in place, and that particularly your bench strength in terms of the board and the senior management team is fully functional. I think HR's acceptance as a function has changed a lot over the years. When I first came to the Middle East, I did a lot of work in the region in the 1980s. It was very much administrative. I think it's moved from there. It's still highly administrative, more so than in the developed world. But I think it's moving in the right direction. But it needs to move faster. It needs to break away from the administrative stranglehold that it has. And needs to become, it's certainly getting more tactical, but it needs to be more strategic. I think one of the things I see the lack here is that HR people are not commercial enough. They don't understand the business. They don't understand the financials. They've really got to understand those if they want to add value. Because at the end of the day, when you look at businesses, people are the only sustainable means of competitive advantage. If you look at finance, everyone can gain access to money if they want to. New products are copied in 6 months. New marketing strategies can be easily copied. So really, people do make the difference. And I still think that HR is a way to go to persuade management, in particular senior management, on the value of that. And I think if they're more commercial, they'll listen. The senior management will listen. I think part of the issue is they need to deliver the basics, the administrative side, very, very well. So that's got to be seamless. And that will allow them time then to be more strategic. And in that, they've got to start particularly looking at where the business is going, what's coming around the corner, and make sure in terms of people, in terms of manpower, in terms of capability and skills, that they have the people with the right skills, capability, motivation to deliver what the company wants. And that means looking ahead. That means looking around the corner. So they need to be more proactive. At the moment, they can tend to be quite reactive. And if you're reactive, you're never really going to catch up. And unfortunately, they get a lot of bad press. And unfortunately, many managers in the region tend to feel that anything related to people is HR's responsibility. HR need to make their managers realize that actually the manager's responsibility is for their people. I think they take on too much of the manager's role and then get the blame for it. Well, how many CEOs are at this conference? Because this is, I think, is an excellent conference. I think it's the best in the region. I noticed there is one presentation by a CEO, which is good, but we need to have more CEOs here. I think we need to still keep working at educating senior managers and CEOs on the value of people. And if you get the people bit right, the rest should follow. And people do add real value. particularly in a highly competitive market. And I think HR needs to be using more of a commercial language than the pure behavioral language they've had in the past. Don't lose the behavioral bit, but also talk about the impact on that commercially. And senior management will sit up and listen. If you talk money in this part of the world, people will listen. It's all about Falloose. If you can make it budget Falloose, the CEO will think, okay, what's in this? So I think HR are in a good position. They just need to move a bit further and a bit faster. I've been before. I think it's an excellent summit. It's certainly the best in the region. I think there's some excellent speakers. There's some really interesting stuff out there in terms of new products, new services. I think many had some really excellent speakers sharing about what they found works. So there's a lot of learning here. And I just hope that the HR people who come even to the free seminars and the big conference themselves just take something that they've learned and go away and make a difference. What worries me a little bit is people go away, they get really excited, and then go back to work and nothing happens, nothing changes. What you've created here is a forum and expo and an exhibition that will allow people to see things that might work and then going away and seeing how they can apply that to meet the needs of the business and to meet the needs of the culture as well. So I think it's a great learning opportunity and experience sharing, for people here. So I think it's excellent.